We're going to make some wasabi beef tips with onions and garlic and a little red wine. Use a tender cut. I happen to be using a piece of prime ribs of beef without the fat. Piece across the top. I'm putting flour and the wasabi straight into the flour. And then, no need to sift it. Just take a whip and whip it up like so. Season the beef. Next, just take the sea salt. You notice these measuring spoons? How nice they lay flat because they're curved? These are so cool because you can lay it down and you won't spill anything, where the other type that might happen. So these are KitchenAid. I like them. I found them, and whatever. Just put the sea salt all over. It looks like a lot, but you know what? Once you mix it up, it's not. Now we're going to take this beef, mix it well, and drop it right in to the flour. Why are we doing it like this? Simple, because we're going to wind up a little sauce in the pan, and the flour is going to be acting like a roux. So when we deglaze the pan with the red wine and a little water, we're going to wind up with a sauce, just enough for this half a pound of beef tips. That's good enough. Next, now I preheated the pan. That's a moderate flame. It doesn't have to be that high. You can use either olive oil, peanut oil, whatever oil you want, or butter. So I'll just use some olive oil, and I find that this sriracha hot chili sauce container has done the best job in holding the olive oil and not having it drip than anything I've ever purchased. So everything is going in there now. First we'll drop the beef tips. And I'm not looking for a lot of color. Just shake them off. And I don't want to smoke up the house either. So we have a moderate flame. And I'm cooking this to be rare. And I also added to this some balsamic vinegar. I think that'll really help the taste, the flavor. As long as you're hearing that little sizzling, then you know it's cooking. You could have added other items to this. But this is just one way to cook this item. I'm going to raise the flame just a little bit. I just wanted to get it started, so I raised the flame. And this is a Teflon pan. It works very well with this kind of stuff. I've never had a problem with it. I think it's better than the non-stick, because if you accidentally scratch it a little, it's still okay. So my wife is able to use it. Just a little more oil or butter. I'm just going to run this film, not going to stop it, because this won't take long. Now if you want medium or well done the beef tips, which is a shame to do, especially when you're dealing with a nice tender cut, then of course you have to extend the cooking time. And also I wouldn't add the onions and garlic at the beginning either. I want them a little bit al dente. Now we'll try to get a little color on a couple of sides of the meat. And that's all we need. So this is a half a pound. And if you notice how many pieces I got out of it, so you don't have to try and measure the cuts with a ruler, as long as you get about 3, 6, 9, I got 12 pieces out of a half a pound. So 10 to 12 pieces, 13 pieces, anywhere in that range, and the beef tips are a good size. Bite size for some people, and a woman would use a knife and a fork. Now once I add the liquid, it'll be a couple of more minutes in there, so you have to realize that the beef is still going to be cooking, and so are the onions. The garlic you don't care about. You'd rather have that raw anyways. Healthier for you. So that's why I don't mince it up too fine. I like to have pieces in there. Okay, for a rare person, which I am, in more than one way, I will add the red wine first, followed by the balsamic vinegar, and the water or beef stock. And keep the flame up nice and high, because we want this to reduce quickly, thicken up a little bit, and have this to go on the plate, not looking too watery. So now you need a high flame. And if the person really likes it very rare, it's no problem in taking out the meat, the pieces right now, and just letting this reduce, which I'm going to do in about a minute. That's a nice aroma I'm getting off of this. Getting firm, which means my meat is done. I don't want it too firm, I want it soft. So the flour did its job in helping this become a sauce. And what would you finish this with? Oh, you want to put a little chopped parsley on top after it's on the plate. Maybe some scallions. Maybe a little cilantro. It's really up to the individual. Put something green, or some fine julienne of red or yellow peppers. Since this is for one person, we want this to reduce very nicely. Taste it. Wow, that's pretty good. There's a nice beef taste to it. And I'm picking up a little bit of the balsamic vinegar. And that's it. Now, best thing to do is to just place that back in, shut off the flame, and let the meat get coated nicely. And we're done. And that's it. I will taste the piece in a second, because that's too hot for me. Well, since I have to take a picture of this for my website, I found a little red pepper, and I found a little rosemary for color. So that's not for taste, it's just for color. Well, let's see if I cook that the way I like it. It still has some red in it. That's good. Nice texture because the sauce is like clinging around the meat. It has a nice flavor. My wife will love this. I hope you will too. Enjoy. Well, that's more like it, that color. So it's important that the pieces be the same size so they evenly cook. The first piece I had was a little flat, so it cooked faster than this.